So if you're trying to make sense of the fintech world right now, you are not alone. It honestly feels like we're all watching three completely different movies playing at the exact same time. We've got a high-stakes redemption story, a quiet but really powerful documentary, and a chaotic summer blockbuster. Let's break down what each one is telling us.
Okay, this framework just perfectly captures the moment we're in. Because on one screen, you have this former superstar trying to make a big comeback. On another, there's this hidden story that might just tell a deeper truth. And on the third, an explosive collision of celebrity, money, and regulation. We're going to break down all three.
All right, first up, our redemption arc. And the star of this movie is the buy now, pay later giant, Klarna. Now, this is the story of a company that flew incredibly high during the market boom and is now desperately trying to prove it has what it takes to survive in a much, much tougher world.
And to really get the drama here, you just have to look at these numbers. Klarna's valuation was absolutely cratered, falling from around $45 billion to under $7 billion. A drop like that isn't just a flesh wound. It forces a company to change its entire DNA. You have to pivot from a mindset of growth at all costs to one of pure survival.
So what happens then? Well, it means your entire playbook has to be rewritten. Forget all the flashy marketing and the rapid expansion. The new mission is laser-focused on three core goals. You slash expenses, you generate actual profit, and you rebuild your credibility with investors, probably with an eye on a future IPO.
And to enforce this new, tough mission, Klarna brought in a well-known shark, Elliott Management. Now, this is not your friendly strategic partner. Think of them as the Gordon Ramsay of the investment world. As activist investors, they buy a stake in a company specifically to force change from the inside. They don't show up to offer encouragement, they show up to demand discipline, cut waste, and get results, fast.
And this right here just brilliantly illustrates that total transformation. The old Klarna, it ran on vibes and amazing storytelling. The new Klarna has to run on discipline and hard proof. The receipts. And what's so fascinating is that this isn't just a Klarna story. It's a bellwether for the entire buy now, pay later industry. Elliott Management doesn't get involved unless they see something that needs fixing, and their presence is a huge sign that the party is over for the whole sector.
Okay, let's switch theaters. Our second feature is completely different. This one is more like a quiet documentary. It doesn't have the loud drama of a redemption story, but it reveals a powerful truth that most of the market might be missing. And its unlikely star is the payroll company Paychex.
For months, the dominant story you hear everywhere is that the economy is slowing down. The businesses are pulling back. But then, Paychex released a really solid earnings report, and it tells a very different, much quieter story. That underneath all the noise, the real economy is actually showing some surprising resilience.
So why does this one company matter so much? Well, it's because Paychex, as a payroll processor, sits right in the bloodstream of American small business. If Paychex is healthy, it's a direct signal from Main Street that companies are still hiring, that paychecks are still going out, and that wage flows aren't collapsing.
You know, this is a classic case of a signal hiding in plain sight. While everyone's focused on volatile tech stocks and big layoff headlines, one of the most truthful indicators of economic health is coming from a boring infrastructure company that's just quietly doing its job. It's a powerful reminder that the real story isn't always the loudest one.
And for our final movie, we get the chaotic blockbuster. Oh man, this one has it all. A global celebrity, a fintech app for teenagers, and a powerful U.S. senator. This is the story of a high-stakes collision between the new world of the creator economy and the old world of financial regulation.
This entire conflict, this whole chaotic mess, really boils down to this single, pretty explosive question. The YouTuber MrBeast is involved with Step, which is a fintech app designed for teens. And this, as you can imagine, has attracted the attention of Senator Elizabeth Warren, and for good reason. It raises some fundamental issues about consumer protection.
And what makes this so complicated is that both sides have very legitimate points. On one hand, regulators are, rightly concerned about protecting a vulnerable audience, teenagers, from complex financial products. The sponsor bank model that apps like Step use, where they partner with a licensed bank, that just adds another layer of regulatory complexity. But on the other hand, MrBeast has a reach that traditional educators can only dream of, and that creates a huge opportunity to teach financial literacy to a generation that desperately needs it. And this really gets to the heart of the issue. The stakes here are completely different. MrBeast has successfully launched fast food chains and chocolate bars, but this is not that. This is money.
He's stepping into one of the most heavily regulated industries on the planet, and as far as we know, he has virtually no background in it.
So what we're watching here isn't just a simple brand partnership. It's a messy, unpredictable collision of three incredibly powerful forces: the massive distribution of the creator economy, the rigid guardrails of financial regulation, and the critical importance of protecting young consumers. The outcome? It's really anyone's guess.
So after watching these three very different movies, the redemption arc, the quiet documentary, and the chaotic blockbuster, what does it all tell us about the current state and maybe the future direction of fintech?
Let's put it all together. Klarna's story is about a hard turn toward discipline and real results. Paychex's story is a signal of quiet, underlying strength in the economy. And MrBeast's story is a massive test of the absolute limits of financial regulation in the age of the influencer.
And this leaves us with the defining question for fintech's future. As the industry evolves, which of these forces will ultimately write the script for its next chapter? Will it be the hard-won discipline of companies like Klarna, who are being forced to mature? The quiet, hidden resilience of the real economy, shown by players like Paychex? Or the disruptive, unprecedented reach of creators like MrBeast as they crash against the walls of regulation? That is the story we'll all be watching.